Good morning, everyone. Professor Nam here. Like I told you last week, I have a meeting in Chicago today. Uh, Actually, I have a meeting at 1 o'clock in Chicago today. So I will fly to Chicago this morning and come back tomorrow afternoon. Anyways, so today, Michael Thompson, who is Director of Technology slash IT Specialist for our program, he will take an attendance and he will basically play this video for you. Today is important because we are going to work on our midterm project. Well, it's not necessarily midterm, but this would be your first group project. So we have to understand the aspect of group project. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to unit number 1. We actually didn't cover unit 1, lesson 1-3 yet. So good communication is a key to success. So if you click on it, there are some communication skills in game industry, well, or communication skills required in game industry. So in lesson 1-3 overview, in this lesson you will learn various elements of team communication and popular communication tools in team environment and why team communication is important. So aspects of team communication, very straightforward. So you can read this. I'm not going to read this for you. So I want you to read this. And there's cloud-based communication. So basically, what is cloud-based communication tool? So here again, there are some good information. Okay, you can get online. So I want you to understand what they are. Okay, and I want to talk about two things like Discord and Slack. So if you play game, you probably are familiar with Discord. Basically, this is a communication tool. Well, actually, this is a cloud-based communication tool that allow players to communicate for the game. So people can talk about strategies for the game or a guild or alliance, whatever name they use, uh, to get to know other people who play the same game together. Okay? And there's is Slack. Slack and Discord very similar. Okay, but Discord would be a little more for gamer. Okay, well this one has specific purpose for the playing game together. Slack is pretty much the same, but this is for more company based. So if you work in industry, people use Slack a lot, okay? Especially tech or game industry. People use Slack a lot. Okay? So for our classes, for our class, we are going to use a course Slack. And then in this course Slack, you will have your own group channel so that you can communicate with other group members. Then here, little rule about Slack, okay? Because Slack is a little more professional than Discord. There are certain things you do not want to do, okay? Don't send multiple messages to an unresponsive coworker. Use your words. Don't abuse emojis. Get back to work. Don't be the TMI coworker. Humor is Slack approved. Be civil and don't forget to communicate IRL. Okay. So again, like these are general information you can read. So later on at your leisure, I want you to read this. Okay. And here, learning from failure. Okay, so we are going to have group project. I'm not sure whether you already have a group project in other classes, but I mean, group project is great because in game industry, you will work with your in group setting or team team environment. So this is a critical and essential in game education or game design and development education. But at the same time, okay, group project when it doesn't work, okay, it really doesn't work. So often I get complaints about group slash team project because most people don't know how to communicate well online with other people. Okay? Everyone works differently, and sometimes it's not pleasant to work with people with different work style or ethics. Okay? Again, you really have to understand this. Even in indie game development, you probably will end up working with other people. Okay, and again, the key to success would be good communication skills. You really have to know how to communicate with your team members. But again, sometimes you could be a night person, and your teammate would be a morning person. So it's really hard to meet with your team members and work together. But that's fine because these days, quite honestly, people don't have to be in the same room when you work on the same project. Maybe it's required for you to meet at the beginning of the project so you can actually discuss things in real time. But a lot of times, you can actually work remotely and not necessarily in the same room. But because of that culture, work culture, now you really have to think about how to communicate with your team members. You really have to let them know what they want to do, or like they you really have to listen to them in terms of finalizing certain things for your game project. So it's really important. But that being said, okay, I have to warn you. Okay, sometimes it's not going to work. Okay, so sometimes again, like I get a lot of I get not necessarily a lot, but I get complaints from students. Oh, this person in my group never showed up and then didn't do anything. So that's why we are going to use Slack. Okay, so Slack, I want you to. Slack is a communication tool, but at the same time, as to employer, is a good documentation of how his or her employees work. For instance, we're going to have group channel on Slack, and everything will be documented. Okay, you leave something, comment or something, it will be documented. So um, when you say, "Oh, my team member never showed up and then didn't do anything, even though I asked that person like 10 times," okay. Well, technically, instead of saying that, you can just show me that Slack conversation. Oh, and then Slack conversation is time coded, so you can say, "Oh, this is like early on the project. I asked that person to do this on Slack, but that person never responded." And now you know. I mean, this is your really responsibility for you to install Slack and then stay on Slack. So now that person actually cannot make an excuse because everyone now know you are expected to install and check Slack messages. So again, like, but then again, it might fail. Okay, because of poor the team communication. Okay, but here I said, however, take this as a learning opportunity. You might not like working with other people, okay, secretly, but you will work with other people if you continue to work in games industry. Thus, don't be afraid of making mistakes. As long as you learn from it, it wouldn't be a mistake at all. Also, you will find an irresponsible team member. Okay, you could be the one too, actually. Then try to learn what bothers you on online communication tool and not to do it for your own good. The life principle still applies here. Treat others how you want to be treated. And another thing would be in this program, and you will take senior project, and then you have to work with other people. So this group project would be a good place to learn about other people in this class. Okay, so you can possibly find a good person that, oh, that person is really good at art, or that person is really good at programming. So maybe I want to work with that person for my senior game project. Okay, something like that. Okay. And there's game related communication. We'll come back to this later. Okay, but here, okay, communication is still a key to success. How to pitch your game idea and how to present your game idea. Okay, and game assessment evaluation. This one we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Okay, when we kind of when we are towards to the finishing of the first group project. Okay. Now we can go to unit number 5. Okay, welcome to unit number 5. Working in a team environment, same thing. Okay, so here we have to understand the teamwork, right? So it's important for us to form a group. Okay, but because I'm not here today, okay, we are going to form our group on Thursday. Okay, but before that, I want you to understand what types of roles exist in game design and development. Okay, so resources found in game courses. Okay, so here GAME232 game team role. So in GAME232, we talk about this team roles. Okay, so roles, marketing, sound, programmers, artist, documentation, producer, and designer. Well, not necessarily, because there are so many different people use different vocabulary. So it doesn't have to be this way, but a few critical or essential role would be, okay, programmer, artist, sound, and producer slash writer. Okay. So you can actually take a look at this. This is sometimes we say in GAME232. Probably in GAME232, you also talked about this team or members or what makes a great team to create a game. Okay, so there are many different names, but essentially, I would say, okay, one person. We need one person to overview programming. We need a one person who overviews graphics art, and we need one person who overviews sound design slash game music composition, and we need one person who need to write about game or components in the game. So usually writer, because writer knows storytelling aspects of the game, so that person usually becomes a project manager or producer later on, or vice versa. And team project document example. Okay, so there's some like a role, okay, level design, programming, art, and the secondary role and responsibility. So we're not going to do this for this particular group project, but sometimes it's important for you to have these types of contract. This would be a contract, okay, basically saying what you are going to do, okay, for this particular game project. Okay. And Slack. Okay, so for this class, I want you to like watch this later, but today I want you to join this course Slack. I created this GAME232 Fall 19. I want you to join. Okay, this course Slack today. Okay, and then here we are going to discuss more about group project, and especially once everyone joins, we are going to create a channel for each group so that you can you can start working on your group project. Okay. So for this project, you can be programmer, graphic artist, sound designer slash game music, creative writer, and project manager. And then please find the message about this, click start thread, and leave your preferences. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to create this thread. Okay. Uh, what role do you, okay, or I'm going to say like here, I'll have this one message. Okay, okay, what's the role you want to take for this group project? And and I want you to actually put choice number one, okay, programmer or whatever, and list choice one and two. Okay, and then here I don't want you to do other things, but here I'm going to do start a thread and then leave your choices. Okay? And I'm going to announce the team on Thursday. And now, okay, today and tomorrow, before Thursday, I want you to do this too. I want you to go here. Okay, simple PSA game. Okay, and we're going to talk about this on Thursday. Okay, but today I want you to download this one. Okay, this one was previous the group project. Okay, so I want you to download it and play these games. Okay, to understand what types of game I want you to kind of create for this particular project. Okay. Many have so you can actually replay. So we're going to talk about more about this on Thursday, but today you can download this and play it. All right, I guess that's enough for today. So I want you to do that, and Thursday we're going to form a group, and then we'll start working on the group project. All right, have a great day, and I'm going to see you on Thursday.